So sometimes disability is misunderstood by able-bodied people, and I feel like there are several barriers to why that understanding is difficult sometimes. And the first of which is making too many assumptions. I'll give you guys an example. Do you remember when those Power Stacker people came to our door and they showed us how to
Yeah.
play and gave us examples? I always felt like sports were heavily pushed on people with disabilities because people without them, or even people with a higher level of physical ability than us, feel like we must be so sad. We're so missing out because we can't do that. From my perspective, it's always been like, no, it's just a thing I can't do.
Yeah.
More extreme.
I guess the bottom line is the way most your average adult person thinks about disability. They think of it sort of how we thought of it as children. Think of all the things you can't do. You know, it must be so terrible, right?
It's kind of like that when we were new to disability, we didn't really understand it. So we thought like that, and now that we've experienced it for so long, we have a more comprehensive understanding. So it makes sense. We're just learning through experience.
We're on the
I
inside,
think
right?
within all this, there's a broad fundamental question of epistemology and postmodernism.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He's
No, no, no,
starting
but
random bullshit is what he's doing.
comparing one person's truth, one person's reality, to another's, compared to some sort of absolute truth,
Okay, yeah, that's
reality.
good.
Yeah.
He's now speaking slightly more, English-based nonsense, but sorry.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Postmodernism essentially says there is no truth. There is no absolute. This is how things feel, how things are. What you perceive as blue, I might see as red.
Yes, because true objectivity is impossible based on the perception of one person because your opinions shape any and all things that you see.
Exactly. And so,
Isn't that essentially saying that other people can't understand our experience? Couldn't that be what it comes down to then? I don't know if I agree with that.
No, it's saying that you can never give an opinion or...
So you're both talking at the exact same time.
I think in some capacity that's true, though. I don't think that anybody can fully understand what we feel as disabled people, but even among us poor guys, we eye with one another, right? And so,
So then why try?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. Roll the
Because
credits.
that's how you progress.
We four can always speak on behalf of ourselves. We're not like this voice for the entire disabled community.
No.
But I guess I want to know is like, how much do we want able-bodied people to know about us? Like, how much is enough? Like, what is our goal, I guess?
Yeah, that's a good
Like, what is our
point.
goal?
I mean, as much as you can. But like you said, there's a limit, right? We're on the inside looking out, so to speak. Right, they're on the outside looking in. And I think, gotta know where's that boundary? Where does that, quote, inside begin?
Yeah.
I would say that, our goal, at least, I would hope is that we give them enough to understand how it affects us, but also to the point where they understand that it doesn't define us. It affects our lives. It helps kind of nudge and slightly shape the course of where our lives go, but it isn't the thing steering us. And knowing more about us and how it affects us helps you understand that we're still just people and we have the same desires and wants as anybody else out there to be a part of the world, to be a part of other people's lives, to understand other people.
You would think it's that simple, right?
I would say there's definitely a sect of the disability community where it goes too far, like Ian said. It's we can oftentimes paralyze them by being like, oh my god, I don't want to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. And then they just completely avoid it and ignore it.
I agree. You gotta
Problem.
meet people where they are. You can't be pissed if they don't know someone from, I don't know why I keep going to Syria. As my example, but...
I mean, you can be pissed, but just hide it.
I mean, I think people trying to understand, that's an extent of itself. You don't gotta, shit on someone. It's like when you go to school.
Oh, all right, let me help you with these.
I can get them. I have arms.
It's like the teachers don't shit on you for not knowing how to do times tables. I mean, figuratively, of course.
Maybe not at your school.
What kind of school did you go to?
Well, the people that are like oversensitive to this, like the people with disabilities that are oversensitive to others, like inquiring about stuff or like...
I think Ian was in the middle of something profound.
Not profound, but all I was going to say is like the people that are oversensitive to others asking questions about their disability or just trying to know more and like step outside of their own sphere of ignorance, people that get mad at that, those are people that don't really have a good grasp on disability to begin with, even though they have a disability. They're still caught up in all of their own problems, their own issues. They're not ready to really interact with others that are seeking to connect with them. They still have personal problems and things to show.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and I think in some, like, not to just attack those people completely, like, sometimes I understand, like, sometimes it's exhausting to not just be, like, a normal person that, like, no one really pays attention to. Sometimes that's exhausting. Sometimes you want to be invisible.
No one stared at me or avoided staring at me.
You're 999,999 in a million.
I don't think there's necessarily an obligation for every person with a disability to
Wow.
You don't always want to be like center stage answering questions.
Identify as a member of some larger community. Like they can be, their own individual and not necessarily associate with that larger group, I guess.
I don't think any of us are like that, but I understand that side.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, since we're doing this, I think...
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be,
this channel.
explaining the same shit over and over to every single new person you meet and, feel like you have to win them over and show them, look, I'm a normal person.
You don't want to, constantly pretend to laugh at the slow down, you're going to get a speeding ticket joke, You don't want to be obligated to laugh at that.
You're the first one that's ever said that, huh? Yeah, just be polite. Pretend like they're the first one that's ever said that.
They're, the funniest person you've ever met.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. Oh, it's you gotta break through. You gotta filter through all the mess. So you can just get up to, square one, As you meet someone new. It's first you gotta show them that all their ideas about you, or about disability-wise, aren't true or you're not like that.
We kind of do the exact same thing to them. We all have perceptions about people that don't have disabilities. We all have ideas in our heads of how they look at us, whether it's true or not, how they feel about us, whether they have those things or not. We might think it's somebody who just takes a glance at us for a second and looks away. We could think 100 different things. Oh, they didn't think I was worth paying attention to, or oh, they were offended by having to be around somebody with a wheelchair, or oh, maybe they were made to feel uncomfortable. In reality, the guy probably just looked left, saw a dude in a wheelchair, was like, it's a dude in a wheelchair, and went on with his day. So that's the other side of it too. We build perceptions, in our heads constantly about what other people think.
That is an excellent example.
That is just projecting your own sort of insecurities, right? What you stared at me for? Because the wheelchair, it's can I be staring at you because you like, your t-shirt or something? You know what I mean?
Spotlight bias.
When I was in school with you guys, very briefly, and I mean very briefly, the span of a month maybe, I was dating somebody that you guys all kind of met. I won't say her name on here because I don't know if she'd be cool with it or not, but the redheaded girl that you guys met, she came to the dorm once or twice.
That redhead.
In the brief discussions we had, I met her actually my freshman year, and we kind of kept in touch on and off throughout my time in school. And it wasn't until almost my last year there that we started dating, and it was only for that month. But she had said that she didn't have, when she first met me, when we first got to talking in the basic veterinarian science class that we met each other in, even after those first couple conversations, she very quickly no longer saw the wheelchair, no longer saw the disability kind of just saw me as a regular person. Of course, my like insecurities and hey, I'm talking to a girl and all this other stuff. Like I still in my head the entire time was paranoid as hell and thought she's probably thinking 100 different things about me and sees the wheelchair first and is, you know, just talking to me out of pity or just because I don't know, that kind of thing. That was what was constantly going through my head. But she confirmed once we actually started going out for a little while that all that crap had fallen away.
Isn't that
The first few days she had gotten to me, but that shit never left my head until I heard her tell me that she had stopped thinking about it entirely. So that's a huge barrier that you have to get past.
I like what you said earlier. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, dude, I had the same experience. A couple of years ago, I had dabbled with online dating. I was terrified of that. I was like, I gotta have this discussion with some point. And be like, yo, whatever your assumptions are, blah, 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 let's talk about them. You can see and all that. Like, the one girl's like, I will never responded to your message if that matters to me. And I was like, whoa. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So now I'm like, for some people, it really doesn't matter. You know, and for most other people, once they get to know you a little, then it doesn't matter anyway. You know, so it's like, you can really bring your own baggage to the table. A lot more, even, than other people, you know?
We have to see ourselves as, like, cool, as the underdogs, you know? Get confident, stupid.
Right on, John.
Yeah, I think in a lot of situations, people without disabilities, they don't really think about anything disability related at all. Like, it's so not relevant to their lives that
It's not on their radar.
they oftentimes have no ideas at all.
It's like not even on their radar.
Just feeling like you're not good enough or
Yeah.
smart enough or listening to all those stupid voices in your head that on any other day you would tell to shut the fuck up and go on.
Like, one of the biggest problems I've had most of my life is just feeling like I have to prove to other people that I belong in a situation. And that's a huge problem, I feel like.
It's really funny. Like, people tend to take their cues to know how to act regarding disability stuff from you. It could be as good or as bad as you want to make it, you know? You think that's a wrap?
Wrap. Let's wrap it up.
I think that there was plenty of good stuff in it, so
I don't really have a
thanks
good...
guys for watching.
Any other thoughts?
No thoughts. Last of my thoughts. Fresh air thoughts.
So get out of here.